So we have DXY bouncing. We spoke about this yesterday. What does this mean? We have the market starting to go red again. We have the DXY bouncing. Are we going to break the support, or is this dollar just going to keep strengthening? It hasn't been a good sign. So I think today's a very interesting topic. Do we go into protection mode again with our portfolios? Do we go into this sort of set of what are the major levels that we must hold? We had two scenarios we spoke about yesterday. We spoke about the bullish and the bearish scenario. We're right in the middle right now. I think Bitcoin's on a really key support of 21,000 at this point. I see the alts are holding just by a thread. The dominance is looking for a bounce at any single moment now. And if the bounce happens in dominance and Bitcoin loses 21, things can get quite ugly. Or is the dominance waiting for the Bitcoin break and the Bitcoin push and bouncing off of the supports where we'll have the dominance move in that? So lots to talk about on the show. This is a very important chart, and let's go through some of the altcoins as well. Very massive show. No more wasting time. Let's get into it.
Click, click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click, click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click, click, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click, click. Enter the sniper.
Yo, Banter fam, what's happening? I hope you're all having a fantastic day out there. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. If you are brand new, smash a like, smash the subscribe button. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Sheldon_Sniper. Make sure you're following our Telegram group. As shows are coming and going, the Telegram group is always on fire, always helping you guys with trades in the market, short-term trades, medium-term trades. There's a lot happening in that space. I think let's jump into it. Let's get into some chats quickly on what is happening. So DXY bounce at the moment, okay? We wanted to drop this line. It was important for us to drop it. What can happen, though, is what the scenario we want to play out here is we want a lower high on the DXY, and finally breaking this will give us a really good chance of getting a little bit of a continuation in this bull leg. I think we're tired of these fake outs and these sort of things. And I think because we got this whole thing of a recession coming up and so much of these things happening around us, I think the market's front running. I really feel the market's front running the news because we had this about 2-3 weeks ago where the market front ran. Like we had a few red days before the actual day, and on the day came quick little red and then green and then continuation again. So I kind of feel this front running thing is becoming quite a common thing where they're starting to, before news is coming out, before these things are happening, they're really starting to enter it in the market. They're starting to get out. They're starting to these sort of things. I think everyone goes into protection mode during these stages. Then they wait to see what happens on the day and what happens through these times. And then they look to start to deploy again. So, we're starting to get to that point where we keep expecting the big move to happen on the day and when these things sort of happen. But it looks like it's starting to shift now. It's starting to happen before. It's starting to happen a little bit of a lead up to that because there's no major catalyst that's really causing the markets to create this redness right now and to get a little bit of this pullback. So this is still one of the major charts we've got to keep eye on because I think it will be our early indication sort of chart. It is at that stage in the market where the patience is being tested. The boringness is really like there. And I think you need to use this time to definitely enjoy life a bit and keep yourself controlled through these times. Don't tire yourself out. But I think you still got to have the major charts and the major understandings of what you need to be looking at and what needs to play out next and these sort of things. I think you got it. So this is one of them you guys must have on your trading view, and you must be tracking because it will be a great sign for us. And ever since we had this little tip off here was when we got a little bit of good bullishness in the market. So keep this on. Hopefully we can get this play out here. Right now it's bullish. If you look at the DXY, as long as we hold this line, it's bullish. if you look at a normal pattern way, you could call this a 1, 2, and a 3, which means we can be in a bit more damage. Remember, right now we're at that stage where the recoveries are coming at times, but we are still at that point where the world's in a little bit of a mess and it can turn at any point. Any fun we are having can be destroyed and tramped on very quickly, and things can change. Like, I don't know about you guys, but look how everything changed from last week to this week. Look how everything just changed. And the whole feeling of everything just changed. And it just shows you the current market we're in, how everything can just flip like this up and down very quick. So far, if we look at this pattern, Dixie is bullish. Now, this is the bullish scenario. If this plays out, this could mean this does play out and we do have the Dixie pump to 110 and we have another 5% push in the Dixie, it could mean that there's another low coming in. Maybe even the lower low of Bitcoin, or maybe even testing the bottom of the ranges. That is the big bearish scenario we can look at if this does continue like this. I do feel. And I feel the stock market will basically fake out if this plays out. So if we look at the stock market here, it's not reacting too much. There's not really much happening here. The stock market, the crypto market is exaggerating a little bit more than the stock market right now. But does this become a fake out? I think if the Dixie does power up like that and the news doesn't go good this week and these sort of things, and they do announce it's a recession and these sort of things, I think we can lose steam possibly on the stock market and basically pull that down. So that's obviously the bearish scenario, and I'll get into where that takes Bitcoin and what can actually happen for the crypto markets. And then we obviously have the next scenario of the Dixie, if this can happen, where we basically have this shoots up. Let's actually remove the drawings here, where we actually have this shoot up here, make the lower high, and then finally break through that trend, sending us down into these areas. And for me, if Dixie makes the higher high here and pushes up, we can be looking at the lower range of Bitcoin, 19K, possibly a little bit lower. If this one plays out, it's the 28K for me in that sort of area. The stock market might have lost tell us about live trading. I will do. You could see the stock markets may have lost short-term trend, but like I said, they're all they're pre-jumping the market at the moment. They're not waiting for the days to come out. They're sort of jumping, and we never know with that. It can go the complete opposite other way. Where something good comes out on that. So we just got to be aware and just keep track of what's happening there and all of that. The next interesting chart before I jump into that is we do have this chart. This is my last sense of hope when it comes to the bullish scenario. I really do. It's the USDT dominance chart. And we know when this thing's going down, the markets are pumping. The markets are in a good place. They're rallying. They're doing really, really well. We did lose a trend. We did lose a trend that was for a few months. I think it was a 3-month trend to the upside. This was where a lot of damage was done in that time. And we did break that when Bitcoin finally broke out of that range. 100 points will be not good. I think it will send the Dixie very high. But we did break this. And as far as charts go, we should be testing now. Possibly a little bit higher than where we're at now. But as far as charts go, it's showing us another bullish leg. Let's see how that plays out. We need the Dixie and the stock markets to play along. But if this chart is correct, and it is one I think you guys should definitely be keeping an eye on. Remember where we're at right now. We're at a point where the markets can reverse and go test lows again. So it does come to protection mode. And we are also at that point where we did break out. We did make the higher high. And as long as we make a higher low, Bitcoin can go higher than where it went in the last run. We're in that different stage. And it's like if you just choose one side now, you can shoot yourself in the foot. You can either get out the market, panic out now, and the market goes up. Or you could be fully in and the market goes down. And, it's basically that sort of range. So keeping an eye on these things is very important for the next few days. But as far as chart-wise goes, this is bullish when it comes to this. It's showing us that this was one leg test here and another leg down. And it's showing that this leg should be very similar to the size of the previous leg, which was quite a nice little rally from the altcoins. It was quite a nice little rally from the crypto market. So let's keep an eye on this one and see. This is the USDT dominance. So USDT.D, and you will get this chart up there as well. So keep an eye on this one. Very important to watch out. And then the last one here is this one. And we had 2 different scenarios to play out here. We had the different scenario of us breaking through here. Let me draw it out. Was to bounce. Right now, we're on our last major support unless we go to lower ranges if we don't hold the support. Very important. So I want to show you guys here that this supports over here is where we're at right now. This is the total market cap of the whole of the crypto market at the moment. Not just Bitcoin, it's everything. And this is if we bounce here and we hold and we really get a strong momentum here, it is a bullish pattern. It definitely is. This is a breakout of the previous range. We're now testing in this area here. So you can see why I'm saying that we're at a very critical stage. We're either going here or we're shooting up and we're chasing the higher high. So I have this pattern here. This is us losing that. And if we lose that and we come up to test here, this will be an exit signal for me. So the exit signal is not right now. I first want to confirm that we do drop down exit signal, because then we're going down to the bottom range. This will be a nice farming strategy, something we'll work on and work through together. And then we obviously got the next pattern where if this plays through, you can be looking at Bitcoin going, looking at another $200 billion entering the crypto market, finally coming to test this. If the market holds here and all of a sudden we just have something that just stabilizes the market here and we bounce here, it can be a very bullish sign. It can be a really good sign and get us to much higher levels to the upside, definitely. So we must definitely keep an eye on that and where we're at. So let's quickly put it out on Bitcoin and what we're looking at. Here's Bitcoin. So if we saw that the total market cap is holding support on that, Bitcoin's starting to lose. It lost that high over there and it basically lost that one there too. So for me, the total market cap is looking pretty bullish. So that's meaning altcoins and Bitcoin. But when it comes to Bitcoin itself, it is starting to lose some key areas. So what I would like to see is the total market cap hold that support and basically Bitcoin trend sideways here and eventually later on in the week break this trend to the upside. If it can at least, as one thing I've realized, if you see this previous pump that we had here, do you see how we made a slight higher high and a very small higher low? Very small. But that made a very key difference on the next move. And that's the same way I'm treating Bitcoin right now. Dump on the news and then pump. So we need to look at that for the, is the bottom in yet? We'll see. We'll definitely see. And GBTC pumping, definitely. So as long as Bitcoin can hold these zones over here and the lower low, we still can't say that there won't be a higher high after that. What will confirm that for me, though, is this trend line here, and the break of this trend will be something that I'm keeping a big eye on and what I actually want to see happen next. So that's sort of where we're at with Bitcoin and what we look at. Let's look at dominance. Remember, we are going to have a spike in dominance at some point. Does it happen on Bitcoin dropping support and going down to lower ranges? That means altcoins are going to get murdered. They're going to get absolutely destroyed. Or does this pump happen? The last two pumps here have been Bitcoin pumps to the upside when we had this. Or is this really boiling up for a big ass move on Bitcoin to get it to the 28K? It's quite an interesting point of where we're at. But, let's put into context here. If ETH, look at this. ETH is the reason why that market cap is still holding support right now. It's still very much higher on the previous. I am chilled, guys. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. My channels are launched, like everything's happening. Please follow my YouTube channel below in the description. We've been busy the whole day. Here's the cameras and everything rolling on the side here. I got tons of cool stuff happening. I started racing today. I jumped in my first kart today. I put on my first suits today. I get onto the track, so it's exciting. I'm starting racing. I'm starting these things, so it's gonna be really cool. So ETH here is the one that's still like really, really bullish at this point. It really is still strong. It can come all the way here and still be bullish. So this is currently holding the market right now. So thank you, ETH. Like, you're giving us a little bit of hope here for something good. So ETH's definitely, if we do have Bitcoin go to bottom range, I don't see ETH really making the lower low. ETH possibly going back to $1,200 in those sort of areas there. But you look at the other altcoins, and these ones didn't break out yet. You can be looking at Theta losing this area, going down 10, 20, 25% areas. You can look at DOT. These coins didn't break out as far as ETH and any of them came yet. So if Bitcoin loses those ranges and starts to come down, you can be looking at another 30, 40% down on some of the altcoins. So you got to be very following my racing dream. Thank you. I'm busy with a lot of different things at the moment. Matic as well. I think it is one of the bullish tokens. But if the bearish scenario plays out here, I think a really good zone around 60 cents is good for Matic. Rune, all of them. So all of those that had the breakouts and look similar to ETH will hold pretty well in the next pullback. The ones that don't and are not getting the higher highs and like didn't repeat the same pattern are going to get murdered if Bitcoin does come down to the next level. So we're in the middle now. You can't sit here and say, oh, we're going lower lows, anything at that point. We're in the middle. We can either get a huge pump from here and a big market move to the upside. We want to see price calm down here, maybe sideways and stay sideways for the rest of the day. Even tomorrow, stay between 21.22 or 20,500 in that zone. And then we can start to get a bit of a shift. Obviously the break of like, 20,500, 21,000 will start giving us warning signs. I just feel the market is panicking early. They're protecting their capital early, which is good, but they might be shooting themselves in the foot as well. So it's quite interesting to look at that. Guys, remember, so guys are asking about the live trading and these sort of things. So I've shifted my new strategy and these sort of things. I'm going back to giving the old audience what they want, the longer term views and that. I got shorter shows coming for the live trading. You're going to see 3 different ranges. I'm going to be a longer term show, medium term trades, and a short time frame trade live trading show for you guys. I'm going to be giving you guys all of these different shows. We're busy with it now. I got my whole family helping and structuring my life. I took on a lot this year, tons of information. I didn't know how to simplify it. So they're structuring. I'm running on a calendar right now, what I do every single hour of the day. So I promise you I'm getting better. And I've been through quite a mental break this year. And I'm coming back strong. I'm rebuilding and I'm going to make sure like we're going to continue the $400 portfolio. We're going to continue everything. I think I took on a lot. I burnt a little bit and I'm coming back strong. So we're going to get all of that going pretty well. Remember, guys, if you do want to sign up and be a part of it, educational purpose only, look to use our links below. It supports the channel. You get sign-up bonuses. You get trading fees, all of these things. Bitget, BYBIT, Coin Panel, which is a really great feature. I actually did the Coin Panel tutorial this morning. It was really good. I think let's get Mama Sniper in the house. Yo. You're on mute.
Morning, everybody.
What's happening?
Yeah, no, it is a beautiful day. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful day. We're all here and we're all still doing great. So it's really, really beautiful day. And we've got the whole community with us. So how fantastic is that?
Yeah. I see some of them are quitting at times and these sort of things, but there's a strong base that's staying strong and getting through all of it. Yeah.
No, definitely. And I mean, times do get better. I know times do get tough sometimes for people, but you know what? There are better times coming. We just got to be patient, and we're all here, and we're all going to get through this together. And I think we're going to do a lot of education. I mean, Sheldon's been recording quite a bit this last week. He's recording a lot of education, which is coming out. He's been spending a lot of time. We just want to get everybody educated so that we do get to the next bull run. We are all ready, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I am being patient, and I am sitting being patient. Never quitting, but there is a time that's going to come where we are all going to just look at this and go, wow, it's a journey, not a destination. So let's learn, educate.
Keep going. So quick things here, guys. Through these times as well, we got BBS, and I want you guys to please post charts. I want to see what you guys got. I want to start seeing the talent out there. This is a beautiful platform for you to do that. You do earn points and these sort of things, which are really cool. You can sort of get a good feel in it. You can buy each other's posts and stuff, but please come share your charts. Like I'm looking at a few guys here posting their charts. Like this stuff's great. It's a free source.
Brilliant charts.
It's brilliant.
This is where the community can shine. You can shine.
It gives you a big opportunity, guys. So the link's below in the description. Open a BBS account and join us. I want to go through. I want to see this, and maybe I even get a few of you on the show. Like if we got talent here, let's bring it. I'm ready to see the next stars and the next guys that want to help and show people all of their talents and their skills. So use this below. Big shout out to them. I think this platform's insane. I think it's really cool. It's such a nice way of rewarding people and sharing a lot of information. It's basically like a Reddit sort of thing. It's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. But just look at this. Look at the tons of information here, guys. It's really nice to see all the different views and all the different ways. And look at this. Like it's really, really, really good. So guys, look to sign up below. Shout out to BBS.
All the way to the top. Oh, okay. All right. Now it's in the link description below.
Yeah, in the link description below. Let's get rid of this as well. Okay, what are we thinking? I know you're going to teach today. Do you want to show anything on charts? You want to get into some teaching?
Let's obviously get into it. I think let's jump straight into it. There's been quite a few questions and people asking how you get your levels and trend lines and stuff. So I just want to just spend about 5 minutes on that, just to obviously show
Share your screen.
Yeah, let's
Let's
go.
do it. The floor is yours, Mama Sniper.
Let's go. So this is obviously a chart that we had discussed. This chart was even posted on BBS over the weekend, where we had a possible retest area for Bitcoin. So on the Fibonacci, this is obviously on a higher time frame. Bitcoin has been working in this bear flag over here. And we're obviously hoping that this will at some point break out of the bear flag. But currently it is sitting at the 618 retracement, perfectly exactly on the 618 retracement currently. So if you'd pulled your fib line from the bottom of this wave, this is obviously called a wave. Bitcoin is sitting at the 6-1 area. So it's currently in a retest area at the moment. There is a possibility it can be pulled down to the 786 level of the fib, which is in line with this major support at the bottom as well. So there is a possibility that it can still come down here. If it breaks out of the major support at the bottom here, then that's obviously a different analysis that needs to be done from there. So for now, we are tracking where the trade is telling us at the moment. And everyone must remember, the trend, there's a famous saying out there that most people say, the trend is your friend. So use the trend on that day. And if it breaks that trend, then you reanalyze. I've got a set where I will look at charts, I will draw charts, but every 2-3 days, I actually reset, I clean. I don't keep the old stuff on my charts, because the market changes and there's a different analysis every single day. So I actually clean my charts and I start fresh again. Sometimes I draw the same analysis and I'm still stuck to the same analysis, but sometimes it actually changes completely, because if you keep an analysis on your charts, you basically get stuck in that ways and you don't see other signs, if you want to call it, around you, or what's actually happening in the market. So currently I'm keeping my eye here. It's at the 618 level, and let's see what happens. If it breaks here, then obviously we're going to look at it coming lower down. If not, and it bounces here, hopefully we have that next wave up where it comes and breaks back out of the resistance again. So I'm going to jump to another clean chart that I had here this morning. A lot of people have been asking about how we draw our trend lines and how do we get the levels. And I just want to simplify it for you. And the reason why we want to start going through this type of stuff is so that you can prep, because trend lines is probably your most easiest tool to use in a bull market. It is so basic, and it's probably one of the easiest and most accurate tools that can be used, obviously with 1 or 2 other indicators along with it. And everybody's got a different style, and we'll start looking at different indicators for everybody as well, because everyone's got a different style. We're a team of about, say, 10 chartists that look at charts on a daily basis here with Sheldon's team, and we all use different indicators, and it's absolutely amazing because everybody has their own little niche of a type of indicator that they like to use. So obviously, just to start off with the basics, you get different types of trend lines. You get diagonal ones and you get horizontal ones. So you'll see a lot of the levels, and they tie up with Fibonacci levels and so forth. So we know, so if we go to, let's scrunch in here, the diagonal ones are, we'll get to those ones. Now, let's go into a 3-day. So basically with trend lines, you want to look at points, tops or bottoms, that basically have bounced in the same sort of trend direction, call it 3 times. Sometimes we get 2, but most of the times we get 3. And also you get smaller time frame trend lines and you get bigger time frame trend lines. So it all depends on what you are choosing to trade. Are you trading on a long term, or are you trading on a shorter term? For me, I look at all of them on a daily basis. So I can sort of get a general feel of how long I want to be in the market for, because every single time frame will give you a different resistance and a different support area. So for instance, here we're on the 3-day, and we can already see that this is quite, this area over here, and this is the one that's on Sheldon as well, with his analysis comes to the same thing. We can see it's bounced here once, it's bounced here again, it bounced over here, it stayed on over here, and it broke down below it. So this over here was a support, it broke below, so now it's become a resistance because now it's below it. If we're above it, it's a support. If we're below it, it's a resistance. So now that it's a resistance, we would normally go and turn that red, because now we know that's a red area. And we know we've got a support down here at about 12K. So our supports will make green. So we know, okay, so here's our resistance area. Here's our support area over here. And all of these will basically tie up with a Fibonacci line. Even if you go and draw fib lines, it's with some level, or with Sheldon's diagonal trend lines that he draws. So these are basically you get different levels. We can even come back down lower, and you can say, oh, there's another support over there. So if we break that support, we're coming down to that support. So those are just the basic lines that are drawn. Then obviously taking trades, buying and selling. You've got, let's go to like say a 4 hour to be a bit easier. Okay, so currently we can already see we've got a trend over there. We can see there was a trend over there. And this is exactly what Sheldon teaches you, that just use your trend lines. So we knew that from the 13th of July till the 22nd of July, this was a trend that was being formed. Keeps on bouncing. And it's the reason why we've drawn the trend line there is because it's constantly bounced off that. Another question everybody asks is, do you use wicks or do you use the close of the candles? Sometimes it differs. Sometimes you use both. It all depends on, you have to see on the flow of the actual trend that it's forming. And sometimes it would be on a wick and a close of a candle. As long as you get the last 3 touches, then that is basically where we say, okay, we take the last 3 touches and we say, now we're happy with that trend line, because that's where it's bounced off the last 3 times. And it could be a wick or it could be a close. You could also have a fake out. So you might not use a wick in the center. So you might want to draw from there to there, down to the bottom of another one and say, okay, that was classed as a fake out. So sometimes, and it'll be on a smaller time frame. So we always wait for candles to close outside of the trend line, but on a higher time frame, because on a smaller time frame, it can just go out, it can close, but on a high time frame, it forms a wick and it comes back underneath. So we look at higher time frames and how it wicks. But here you could clearly see break of the trend. We break down, we come back up for the retest, and then we move back down again, and we form a new trend. And this is what Sheldon always teaches you. So just go and draw another trend line on those, and we wait for it to break back out, come back down for a retest, and move its way up again. And then you draw another trend line. So just to give you a quick, just to wrap up, I think that's enough on there, Charles. But just to obviously show you, just to show you.
Do you enjoy the education again? I think let's do it. Let's just teach through these times.
No, I think so. It's important.
The good times will come again.
Because we want to make it easy for when the bull market comes, we can all just rock it together, So it's like, let's whatever the community is asking, let's answer the questions. So I mean, you can see on a higher time frame, okay, I'm not happy with that. We can possibly move that, or we can touch that one, or we can touch that one around like that. And that could have been a bit of a fake out coming out there. So we could draw a trend line there. If I go to the 4 hour and we look at the same on the 4 hour, we've got another pattern forming. So it depends on what time frame it is that you want to actually trade on. We know if we break this one, that's fine. So we could possibly take a trade from there to there because there's a resistance. So we might want to run. So if we break out of this one, we must be careful and watch because there's another resistance sitting over there. If you go to
there's a horizontal
smaller,
resistance there too.
And there's a horizontal. If you go smaller, now go to the 1 hour chart. Guess what? I've got another trend line forming over there. If I go to the 15-minute or the 5-minute, guess what? I've got another trend line forming over there.
Yeah.
So it's just to give you an idea. It depends on what time frame you're on. So if you do want to take a shorter term trade, obviously use the shorter time trend line. But no, you're going to hit a resistance at this area over here. If it breaks this one, no, you're going to hit a resistance at this area over here. And if you're going to stay in for longer,
put a support trend under that. It will tell you when it's losing steam.
All you do is you just draw your line and see, and you will get probably rejected at one of those points over there.
You're actually so right. Like I used to do so much of this stuff. Like I think let's teach again. Let's
Yeah.
teach all this stuff. Let's go through it. You're so right. Like,
No, definitely.
I think we got to go back. It feels like I'm back like a year ago where we used to do all this stuff. Like, it feels like we got to go back to it.
But this
I
is
think that people
what
miss
the
it. This is
whole
what we
idea
are.
was.
This is what we are. Yeah.
This is what the
You're
whole thing
very
is,
right.
teaching
No, you're very
everybody
right.
about it. Because we
No,
want
you're
to
right.
teach you guys the skill. We don't want to show you. We don't want to just give you the trades all the time. We want you to be able to do it yourself. I mean, one day we're not here, and people need to carry on. Someone else needs to become the sniper. Someone else needs to. So teach the skill.
Mama Sniper, you've just brought the fire back again. I think let's do this. This is why we came to this channel. This is why we started with the stuff. It's to do this stuff, and I think we're going back to it. We've learned a lot, and yeah, it's exciting. Thank you. You've inspired me now. You've inspired me to teach again. It's hard. You lose steam and you get like demotivated. People are hard when these things are happening, and I think it's just I think we all know that I've been trying to pick myself up this year, and this is just.
No, but I'm very proud of
this
you
is what we
because
do. This is what we do.
there's a lot of kickback and there's a lot of whatever, but you're still here and you're still showing up. So yeah.
And I don't quit. I will never quit. I'll never quit.
Don't give in.
Never quit.
Don't quit. Never give up.
I won't. Okay, Mom. I love you lots.
Let's give some money away.
Okay, let's give money away. Then let's go to the racetrack.
Okay. I'm going to keep it simple. I've gone right to the beginning of the list. Choose a number from 1 to 20.
13.
13. Okay, let's go. So Bitget have offered to 10x someone's portfolio to a maximum of $10,000. So let's see. Let's go back.
Yeah, guys, should we go back to teaching? Like, I'm excited. You got me pumped up here. It's time to go back. Okay, 13. Oh, you made $1,400. Well done.
Yeah, so this person here will make $1,400. They'll up your account, and that is it. And we'll do another one later in the week. We've got 2 of these to give away every week. So yeah, exciting times.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mom.
Pleasure.
You made me feel better. you made me feel better. No, you made me go back to why we started this shit.
No.
It was nice to go back. Yeah, it means a lot to me. Thank you. Okay.
Pleasure.
We love you all. Banter fam, we'll see you on the next episode. We're going to keep going. We're not going to stop, and we're going to have a fantastic end to this year. Much love, Banter fam.